Hello guys, welcome to Team Summit, and I'm very excited to moderating this session. Even though I have never moderated, I usually be moderated. So why don't we first introduce ourselves? I'm gonna have Navjit. Would you want to introduce yourself to start off?
Sure. Hi, I'm Dr. Navjit, Dhaliwal, based out of Switzerland. We're building a decentralized storage and compute platform. We've been building since 2017, and we've been innovating since then. What we do is we bridge compliance with decentralization. So our main focus is enterprise clients and focusing on compliant data storage, secure data storage, cost-effective data storage. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, my name is Arion. So I'm a co-founder of ENIAC, which is an L1 blockchain that targeting or facilitating more enterprise target clients. It's going to be a very, very fast blockchain, which is going to be groundbreaking because the TPS is going to be up to 10,000 TPS, and we will have fundamental CKP modular system during the chain. So we're now currently in testnet. We're going to launch the chain from June. So more details will be announced. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Albert. I'm CEO and founder of Krako. The topic of this panel is the top player of the world, but we're only 10 months old, and we're based in LA. And so for a short amount of time, we've been serving a lot of AI tasks. So we're basically providing decentralized AI computing infrastructure. So it's an alternative to the AWS or Google Cloud. And instead of having large data sets around the world, and we just hire all these home and office computers around the world so that we make them work and then give them rewards in return. And hopefully we can meet more investors and then third-party developers who want to use our infrastructure. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kenji. I'm half Mexican, half Japanese. Before I start the introduction of our company, how many people would understand that my mother language is not Japanese? I think it's very hard. But there are many AI companies that are trying to understand what is your mother language and what is your background, and use that data to train their AI models to do free translations and such. So what we do in PublicAI, which I'm the co-founder COO, what we do is we try to anyone being able to monetize your experience or background to be able to provide data to train AI models. So my only request today is if anyone can try to go to our website, PublicAI, please try it out, because we're also gathering right now some Japanese phrases as well for our customers. Thank you.
I'm Laura.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Laura. I'm the marketing partner of Elven. Elven is a professional crypto accounting and tax software, helping the Web3 financial institution in the forms of OTC payment, exchange, and maybe some large Web3 entities to meet the needs of global compliance, auditing, and maybe financial automation and digital assets management. And with the headquarters located in Singapore, and we have also got the branch office in Hong Kong. And since 2022, we have got integrated more than 200 platforms. And we have got more than 1,000 clients in use, which covers almost 15 countries. And the typical clients includes maybe Amber, Biget, VDX, CoinHako, CoinHero, CoinMarketCap, and Legend Trading, Alchemy Pay, ETC Pay, etc. And Elven is able to integrate the on-chain data, bank data, custodies, payment, just into one single platform. And along with the automation of reconciliation and transaction, I think we can do all the things into the journal entries, which massively reduces the workload of finance team. And if you are interested in knowing more about our product, maybe you can go to Elven booth and you can get a free account to have a test of our product. Thank you.
Alright, so I guess we have so many people and so many products and services, and I'm gonna share my product and service as well. So I don't want to confuse you guys. Today's session, we're gonna talk about Web3, AI, and enterprise. Right? I think that's the angle that I kind of figured out in a day. So I want to make sure everyone understands what we're going to be discussing here: Web3, AI, and enterprise. Right? So my introduction: I am a founder. I'm CEO of Upbond. We focuses on bringing enterprises onto Web3. So we have a local product that can be integrated to any of the large corporations. So, for example, Hankyu Hanshin Hyakuten or Lotte, those are our clients. So we are approaching about 10 million users in Japan. So essentially, without you noticing, you guys are in the world of Web3. That's the product, and that's the focus that I've been in. So I think it's a perfect fit for me to talk about Web3, AI, and enterprise. So let's start off with first topic, AI and Web3, right? Because I think a lot of people talk about it, but not a lot of real use cases. There are some hypes on it, or some meme behind it. But what is your take on this? Arion, you wanna? Sorry. Kenji, I'm sorry. Now, too many people here, I'm mixing people up. So Kenji, I think you run PublicAI, obviously integrating AI and Web3 angles all together. So what's your approach on taking advantage of AI and blockchain?
Yeah, so in our case, to be frank, we don't use really cool blockchain technology like CKP, or we're not a DeFi. What we do is really the service that our clients get, which are enterprises or AI vertical startups. What they get is data from us. It's real world data and also the verification of the data itself. So actually what we provide is a Web2 traditional service. However, the way we utilize blockchain is more in the internal operation where when we gather the data from our community. I think the important part is how to enhance and guarantee the quality of the data that we provide to our customers. Because at the end, what we service to our customers is data. So there comes the blockchain part where we do like staking, slashing, scoring as well, and also reward our community utilizing blockchain.
So can I understand it in a way that in order for a company to access to a data, then we go onto your platform, we access to your data. Is that how it works, kind of?
Actually, if anyone can try it, right now we have like campaigns.
Okay.
You choose the campaign and provide the data related to that campaign.
So it's more like a consumer base. So if I go onto the website, I opt in my personal data, then I get rewarded. Yeah. And then some enterprises can access to the data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we don't collect random data, but we collect based on our customers' needs. Yeah.
That'll be interesting. So I happen to be a venture partner of Taikon Ventures, who invest into OpenAI, XAI, and there always a data needed to train models. So that'll be very interesting. Thanks a lot, Kenji. So Albert, I think you've been really squeezing computing power. So how do you take on this sort of AI and Web3, or how you kind of putting things together from your business?
So Krako simply can treat us as an alternative AWS. Instead of AWS own all the data center by themselves, we're utilizing the home and office computers around the world. And then anyone who download our application on your computer, and when it's not used, and we go there and then make them work, and then we give them rewards. So it's more like infrastructure project, but because we're facing all these like third-party AI application for service developers, so we're constantly engaging with them so to try to solve their like biggest pain, because our main customers are the startups and indie devs, so they always have problem with the money. So when they cannot launch their application on big players like AWS, they come to us and then launch their application on us, and then we provide that services. So I think when it comes to AI, there are a lot of like, opportunity for companies like us and probably Iagon, right? And then infrastructure like us, we decentralize the infrastructure and then make them work for the AI companies to work. In return, they pay us either in fiat or our token, but also we revenue share with our contributors, partially to the contributor, so the contributor can make money and then be happy. So all the players are supposed to be happy in our infrastructure scheme. So there are many AI companies also engaging with us trying to create a new application, but because enterprise, when we say enterprise, we always see the big companies, but small players like startups and indie devs, they're always having a problem. So for us, trying to solve this deep pain for them is the first one, and then hope we can increase this our bandwidth to the bigger companies. So hopefully we can serve little bit bigger size company by utilizing better infrastructure.
And Albert, I think what you guys are doing is obviously, all of you guys have a computer at home, and then there are, computing power left over, and you're taking advantage of that computing power and then packaging it into more like a startup or a company that cannot afford either NVIDIA or like AWS, GCP, those stuff.
Exactly.
Well, that's a very cool project. So, I've been experiencing a situation where GCP is like ripping me off. AWS is ripping me off. I spend over $20,000 every month for nothing.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say nothing. I'm sorry if you guys are some of them. But I think it's one of the ways to take advantage of decentralization to solve the problem of computing power or computing power needed for AI.
Right.
Great. You want to add something?
we actually started. We actually started out as one application developer, a 3D scanning app developer, and without having.
No, it was not me.
It was not me. So less than 1,000 users, we started to pay $15,000 per month. So we realized that this is just crazy, just paying a lot of money even without having starting to generate revenue. So that back then we thought maybe we can sync up some of the leftover gaming PCs in our office. So we actually did it, and then after that we never pay anything to the big cloud services. So that's how we evolved into one application developer to the infrastructure companies.
Cool. All right, so I guess, we have many guests here, panelists here. So I want to tap into, enterprise and blockchain. I guess, one thing I found out, something common among us is we approach enterprise clients. So Arion, I think you are launching next generation layer 1 infrastructure. So what is your approach, or what is the problem that you're trying to solve?
Thank you. So yes, so we're launching an Elven that we target to enterprise, and I think that I have to give like the credit to our founder, Will. He's also here. That we have to understand our clients. Right? When we talk about enterprise, we need to know what is the pain point of them. So the first and very foremost is, because when we talk about enterprise, like Kenji has mentioned, it's not only about the big enterprise. It means a lot of like different smaller kind of like company. For that, for them to help them to understand blockchain is we need to have a lot of variations to give them to fit for their use cases. What I'm trying to say is basically we need to have our blockchain built in different modules. By doing so, then a lot of different enterprise can have their own tailor-made module that fit into the blockchain. Then we can like kind of like work very well with them. And I think like for that, for example, for Annie, what we are trying to do is we build out like what we mentioned here is the CKP. Right? We build out different modules, for example, CKDID, which is related to some decentralized identifications. We also build out a CKML, which is incorporating the AI, which a lot of enterprise now is interested into. We developed the CKML, which is a machine learning kind of module to help them. So I think for all these solutions, we give to the traditional enterprise to help them how to adopt the blockchain technology. And that being said, so is they do not need to change a lot of the existing operations. No matter you're like big companies, you have money to do a lot of modifications of your own system to incorporate that. With the module that we provide to them, then they will easily for them to take on because the change or the amendment cost is relatively smaller. So we're going from that approach to help. Why we say groundbreaking? Because currently we don't have such kind of blockchains to helping them.
I think ZK technology or TPS or 10x of Solana, that's very interesting. But obviously the challenge here is does enterprise need blockchain, right? Public chain. It's been very difficult. I mean, I've been working with large corporations in Japan for the past 7 years. A lot of people talk about a need of blockchain, but it's very difficult to visualize in those large corporations. So what is your angle to tackle those large corporations from the business development angle?
It's me again? Okay, so that's a very good question, thank you. So in the process of adopting any new stuff, right? So you're just like asking when a new television come in, right? So do I need a new television? Do I need to have a plasma? So it's all kind of things that because the world is changing, it's updating, it's upgrading. So it also for the enterprise itself to know that okay, the future is here. It's a crusade, but we all say that. In terms of if they have an ambitions to grow the enterprise, they need to at least understand blockchain, and then they will have that kind of active to use it. But go back to the first question again is, current stage, we don't see in the market there's any such a blockchain that fit for them to use. So, and then go to the second question. It's nothing there. How should I be able to use it?
Yeah, I think selling vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So Nav, I think you're also working on enterprise-grade solution as well, and I'd like to hear your take on how to bring your technology to enterprises.
Yeah, so I mean, we have a different approach to enterprise adoption. I mean, that's the kind of everyone in Web3 is searching for, right? Web3 adoption into Web2 adoption, and it's very hard to achieve. I think one thing that we need to do is have clear messaging, and sometimes it's explaining it in a very simple way is the best way to go. We have also IP security, so we were actually focusing on making sure that our technology is patented because we knew that there was, going to be other projects building similar or other companies building similar stuff. And it's very important for us, at least in the early stage when we filed for patent in 2018, to secure our technology, first and foremost. And then what we did was we built organically through Web3. We built very silently but organically, and we had a clear messaging on what we were offering. So Iagon is a distributed storage and compute platform, and kind of like an Airbnb for storage and compute. That's kind of the message that we were giving out. And our focus is specifically on compliance. And in 2018 is when GDPR became very relevant. That's an EU regulation for data compliance. And Japan has its own regulations, and every country has its own regulations. So one of the things that we were able to clearly communicate to enterprise is the compliance factor, the IP security factor. All the other stuff is secondary in terms of cost savings, extra profits. Of course, business wants to earn extra money or save costs in a certain way. And this is why a lot of enterprises have approached us organically. We have Worth Group that approached us 1 year ago. Worth Group, if anyone doesn't know, is a Fortune 500 out of Europe. We started talking to them last year, and we onboarded them with an MVP. And we took small steps. We're not going straight for the head and say, hey, use our solution and you will be happy with it, We're saying, hey, try our solution. This is how we want to work with you, or this is how they want to work with us, and come to a conclusion of where you guys want to go and tackle it. So instead of looking for a specific market niche, the market has come to us and tell us what they want. And that's a great opportunity for us. And for example, even a Fortune 500 pilot that we recently onboarded, haven't announced yet, but it's a large enterprise that wants to offer 3 storage nodes to our network. And if it's successful, it would mean a kind of a white label solution in all the laptops they produce globally.
I was very, very excited after I hear your story, because you've been committed to this from 2018, and then you've been working with one of the largest enterprises in Europe, and obviously it took very small step to be trusted, right? How was that process? Like, how did it happen?
Oh, you have to make mistakes, right? You can't be perfect from the get-go. It's impossible to be like, hey, this is the way we're going, and that's the way we're going. If there's some mistakes you make, you got to admit to it, and you have to change on the fly, right? I mean, not change the product, not change the mission, because the general mission has to stay the same, in my opinion. But basically changing to fit the adoption and the needs of the clients is very important, because otherwise you get left behind, because they're going to find a different solution.
I kind of see some similarity between Japanese corporations and some European corporations, like especially large enterprises are more conservative, I would say. And then you cracked it and you kind of opened the door and you've been working with the company. So how do you take on this sort of compliance governance where those large corporations care, and how you solve that issue of sort of like blockchain versus data security compliance?
Yeah, so we use blockchain as an access layer. So there's certain things blockchain is good for, certain things blockchain. You don't need to implement blockchain in everything. That's first and foremost. What we're trying to do in terms of compliance is we learn the behavior. That's the pattern that's formed up. We learn the behavior of the nodes in different variables like performance, availability, trust, locations, different metrics that are important to the end user. So enterprises that care about compliance, first and foremost, you have to have a geolocation that fits the geolocation need. For example, in Japan, companies will want data specifically in Japan. They don't want data anywhere else. I think that's first and foremost. And some of the things like the other Web3 companies don't allocate for that. Centralized companies also take that into account, but also host data locally and in different regions, which is also against the grain of regulation. We put the onus of the data compliance on the user side. So the user gets to choose where, because they control the files, they have full, complete data sovereignty over their files. So they get to customize where they want to store their files, how they want to store them.
All right, cool, thanks. So finally, to Laura, and obviously, you kind of shared me with your story about providing service for your enterprise. How you see this, enterprise using your product?
I think the tide is rising, and Web3 plus AI is leading the change. And the revolution is here, and Elven doesn't want to miss it. So we have hired some AI engineers to do some deep research and to train the tools more efficient and accurate to meet the needs of our clients, which will drive our continuous excellence and innovation of our products. Yeah, that's what we are.
Like my understanding is, for example, our company in Japan, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum and stuff, and then there's sort of bookkeeping process and taxation process and stuff. And your product can solve those kind of issues.
Yes, definitely, but Japanese market is very special,
Right.
and the accounting rules and regulations are totally different from the international standards.
Right.
That's why last year we have hired some local Japanese employees to do the research.
Right.
And
Let's talk about Singapore or the country that you serve your services. Like what's the feedback and what kind of problems that you're solving for your clients?
Okay, maybe we can take Hashkey OTC for example. Last maybe April, the CEO of Hashkey OTC found us because they got stuck in auditing. Before that, they used 用友 in Chinese, that is 用友会计软件, and plus Google.
我们要讲中文吗？
And they hand over the reports to KPMG, but the man who in charge of their case told them it cannot be acceptable because they can't make sure the data on the report is very real. So they came to us, and when they use Elven and they use a SaaS version, they can just do all the reports automatically, and we can do the real-time reconciliation. So that's why we are very popular both in Singapore and Hong Kong.
Thank you. I think this information is very insightful. Obviously a lot of listed corporations are tapping into Web3 right now, and one of the things that we need to figure out is how to be audited and how to keep, like some of the companies do it in outsourcing way. So like my company got a lot of business from large corporations, and we kind of handle it for them, but essentially they are not directly tapping into blockchain. So I think those solutions could be essential when it comes to overcome those compliance and regulation issues. So I think since you guys are all from different countries, and obviously you are here in Japan, and I'd like to hear your take on Japanese market, or why Japan, or you don't even care about Japan. So I would go from Nav. From there, and then just one by one.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we came here because there's a big Cardano community here, and we are building on Cardano, which is because of the security and the decentralization. And we also see that Japan is, becoming very regulated in terms of in a good direction for blockchain adoption. So I think that there's a great opportunity here for onboarding enterprises. So those are the two factors that led us to Japan and being here, and try to create some exposure and connect with community members here and understand the needs.
Cool, interesting.
So my answer is very simple, that we just love Japan, which is great, right? So, but more into a blockchain or an enterprise, specifically blockchain is, we definitely agree that Japan is a country that have very good soil for innovative technology, right? When we ask ourselves, look back, no matter it's like Walkman, if you see in my age, right? And then it's the TV games, a lot of groundbreaking, globally groundbreaking things that happen in Japan. So we also have that belief. for the story. So it means to us that for the enterprise here, they will have such a vision and have such an opportunity to take on like new kind of blockchain technologies. So we see these opportunities here.
Cool. Before we move on to the next person, I want to add a little bit, right? Because I've been bringing all the projects and product from outside to Japan. Obviously, a lot of my foreign friends or foreign partners, they're surprised on the process or the culture, business culture. It's not only about the product or technology, but how to really adapt into those Japanese corporate cultures. That could be quite challenging as well. So, yeah.
That's very good, because I would like to add on one very specific thing. Japanese talk about loyalty, security, right? So in terms of that, for ENIAC, which is very specifically we use the CKP technology to make sure that piece of information is being secured, and they have the kind of confidence to use the chain accordingly, which very fits to the culture. All right, thank you.
So like I said, we're only like around the market about 10 months, and then we have 4 live third-party applications running on our infrastructure. One of them is a Japanese company who's using our technology to asking their users to scan the human body and then making a 3D digital twin and then sell that on the marketplace. I think in Japan, when it comes to entertainment and gaming industry, they can create a bunch of weird and new opportunity using our infrastructure. So I'd love to meet like more Japanese, like small size and individual developers who's interested in using our technology, so that they can push forward, like in a weird and unique business model together with us. That's why we're here and try to meet more companies.
Cool. Thanks, Kenji.
Yeah, so we are a San Francisco US-based company, and most of our customers, like including Adobe, who does the PDF, are in US or in China. I think, as Jim mentioned, I think it's different to deal with Japanese companies, but what we expect from Japan is one, to have more partnerships or collaborations with Japanese enterprises who are dealing with their internal AI models. I think a lot of Japanese enterprises have their own data engineers. They are training by themselves internally instead of outsourcing. So one is that part. The second one is the community. Most of our community of the people who are providing us the data and verification are based in Southeast Asia, US, and Africa at this moment. So we would be more than happy to have more Japanese people on board with our community as well. And third one, of course, we're early stage startups. So if any investors are interested, please come to talk to us.
Thank you, Kenji. Laura?
Japanese market is a highly compliant market, providing the Web3 companies a healthier environment to grow. And most of our clients, they are targeting to get some license in Japan, and that's why we are here. And we have built up the strategic partnership with OSL Japan, Amber, and S-Blocks, etc. And we welcome anyone or any company who want to build up the partnership with us to broaden our business in Japan based on mutual benefits. That's all.
Cool. So, since I've been asking all the questions, I want to talk a little bit about my take on today's topic. So obviously, Japan and international business, that's I've been doing for past 10, 15 years, whether it's with China or the US. And one thing I really believe is to open up our mind to work with great products or great ideas and be patient with the, languages, right? So I think there's a huge language barrier when it comes to, working with Japanese enterprises. Some really good tech companies, they said, I want to stay away from Japan because of this whole, engagement. They spent over a year and nothing happened, right? So me being Japanese, I want to share my opinions and thoughts to the enterprises. If we could open up and make quicker decision for the startups who's actually hustling, trying to make the world a better place with the new technology and innovation, right? I think giving an opportunity from large corporations to those startups, new technology is very important, and I think the decision-making process could be very problematic when it comes to bringing those technologies and then bringing into Japan. And vice versa, right? For startup side, I think sometimes we gotta be a little bit patient when it comes to working with Japanese corporations. There are process that they have to take, and sometimes it could be very troublesome. But I think Japan has such a great intellectual property, anime, manga, and very strong culture. I think those are the things that we could definitely take advantage, especially on this open internet, blockchain, right? So thank you guys so much for joining today's session. ありがとうございます。感谢你们，非常感谢。Thank you。
ありがとうございました。ご講談ください。